There's this hidden network running through your home right now. It's working silently 24/7, and believe it or not, it's way more critical than your Wi-Fi. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover all its secrets.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think is the most critical system in your entire home? I mean, the one thing you really, truly can't live without. Just take a second and think about that.
Okay, got your answer? I bet for a lot of you, the first thing that popped in your head was Wi-Fi, right? And hey, I get it. But nope, as essential as that feels some days, that's not it. We're talking about something way more fundamental.
That's right, it's that hidden network of pipes you rely on every single day. Yep, your plumbing. It's this silent, invisible system that's basically the circulatory system for your house, just working away tirelessly around the clock.
So, to really get a handle on how this whole thing works, and more importantly, what happens when it goes wrong, we're going to use a real-world laboratory. We're zooming in on Spring Hill, Tennessee, and trust me, what we learn there, it applies to pretty much every single home, including yours.
All right, so how does this network actually do its job? It's surprisingly simple when you break it down. It really all comes down to two totally different systems that have to work together perfectly.
Think of it like a tale of two systems. First, you've got this supply system. This is like the arteries of your home, pumping fresh, clean water in under super high pressure. Then, you've got the drain system. These are the veins. They don't need any pressure at all, they just use good old gravity to carry all the wastewater away. See? Two different jobs, two totally different approaches.
But here's the thing. This really elegant system, well, it's under constant attack, and the enemy is totally unseen. It's the environment itself. I mean, the very ground your house is built on can be its biggest threat.
Okay, so take a place like our lab, Spring Hill. The ground there is packed with limestone. What does that mean for you? It means the water is hard. It's just full of minerals like calcium and magnesium. And over time, those minerals build up inside your pipes. It's like plaque building up in an artery, just slowly, silently choking off the flow.
And then there's the threat that's literally growing in your own backyard. Your trees. Those roots are always on the hunt for water. And guess what? Your sewer line is like a five-star restaurant for them. They can sneak into the tiniest cracks and then just explode into these massive blockages. It's a huge problem, especially in places with shifting clay soil. And we can't forget about the weather. When those temperatures take a nosedive, the water inside your pipes can freeze. Now, here's the science bit. When water freezes, it expands with this incredible crushing force. That pressure has to go somewhere, right? So bam, it cracks the pipe wide open. But the real disaster, the one that causes thousands and thousands of dollars in damage, that doesn't happen until the ice thaws and unleashes a flood of water right into your home.
And you know what else really matters? What your pipes are actually made of. The age of your home is a massive clue. If you're in a house built before the 1980s, you might have galvanized steel pipes, and those things literally rust from the inside out. Newer homes, they probably use PEX, which is this cool, flexible plastic that's way better against freezing, but if it's not installed perfectly, it can have its own problems. So yeah, every material has its own little weakness, its own Achilles heel.
Okay, so we've just laid out all these threats. Hard water, tree roots, freezing temps. It can feel a little overwhelming, I get it. But here's the good news. There is a totally clear playbook for how to fight back. It basically breaks down into 3 levels of defense.
So what are these 3 tiers of action? Well, you've got Tier 1, emergency repair. Tier 2, planned upgrades, and Tier 3, preventative maintenance. Let's dive into what each of those really means.
All right, Tier 1. Think of this as the firefighter. This is your emergency response. The alarm bells are ringing, disaster has already struck, and the only goal is to stop the bleeding and stop it fast.
And yeah, we are talking about the big, scary stuff here, like a pipe bursting and flooding your basement, or a sewer backing up into your shower, yikes. Your water heater just totally quitting on you, or even a dangerous gas leak. Look, these are absolutely not DIY situations. This is when you call in the pros immediately.
Okay, let's move on to Tier 2. If Tier 1 was the firefighter, Tier 2 is the strategist. This is where you get smart. You stop just reacting to disasters, and you start proactively improving your system to prevent them from ever happening again.
These are what I'd call smart investments in your home. It could be something huge like a whole home repiping job, getting all that old corroding steel out and putting in modern PEX. Or maybe it's upgrading to a super efficient tankless water heater. And if you live in a place like Spring Hill, installing a water softener is an absolute game changer to fight that hard water we talked about.
And that brings us to my personal favorite, Tier 3, preventative maintenance. This is the guardian of your system. Honestly, it's the least traumatic of the three, but it is by far the most powerful. This is how you stay ahead of the game and stay in control.
What does that look like? Well, it's about simple, regular checkups. Things like flushing your water heater once a year to get all that gunk out, or getting your drains cleaned before they turn into a massive clog. You can even have a tiny camera run through your sewer line to check for those sneaky tree roots. A little bit of prevention now saves you a world of pain and a ton of money down the road.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway here? It's pretty simple, actually. Just understanding this hidden network in your home is incredibly empowering, because that knowledge, it turns that feeling of anxiety into a plan of action.
And even just knowing what happens when you have to make that call to a professional can take away so much of the stress. It's not some big mystery, it's actually a really clear 3-step process. First, dispatch. You call, they send a technician. Second, diagnose and quote. They figure out the problem and give you a clear, upfront price that you have to approve. And third, repair and verify. They do the work, make sure it's up to code, and test everything to make sure it's working perfectly. See? Simple, predictable, no surprises. But remember, you are always your home's first line of defense. So how can you spot trouble before it gets out of hand? What are the little warning signs, the red flags, that your plumbing might be sending you right now?
Okay, let's run through a quick checklist. That little dripping faucet that you've been meaning to fix, or that toilet that's always running, they're wasting way more water and cash than you think. Sinks and showers that drain super slowly, or weird gurgling sounds coming from your drains? Yeah, those are early warning signs of a clog. And what about a sudden, unexplained jump in your water bill, or a mysterious water stain on the ceiling? That's a classic sign of a hidden leak. Your system is literally trying to talk to you. You just have to listen.
So when you think about it, your home's plumbing really isn't just a bunch of pipes hidden in the walls. It's this living, breathing system that's in a constant conversation with its environment. The soil, the weather, the trees right outside your window. It's your home's lifeline. So the real question I'll leave you with is this: what story is your plumbing telling you?